Few things say Southern comfort like hot biscuits drenched in creamy gravy. Lots of places serve them, but not every gravy hits the mark. Since 1969, Cracker Barrel has been serving up classic Southern comfort food. Now with roughly 650 locations nationwide, it's a go-to spot for fans of all-day breakfast. One of their standout dishes is biscuits topped with traditional sawmill gravy, made from pork drippings, salt, and pepper. But despite its popularity, this particular dish hasn't won everyone over. Customers have voiced complaints about nearly every part of the biscuits and gravy. One Reddit user described the gravy as tasting like rancid bacon fat, while a TripAdvisor reviewer wasn't impressed with the dish as a whole, writing, "The sausage biscuit and gravy was horrible. No sausage. Gravy looked and tasted like glue, and biscuits were not completely done." Another common gripe from diners? The portion size. The portions are pathetic. If you order biscuits and gravy and someone else also orders it at your table, they bring the same amount of gravy as a single order. Many reviewers have also criticized the biscuits for being stale, cold, thin, tough, and too small.
Anything else?
The silver lining? If the biscuits and gravy don't hit the spot, the dish at least includes a side of bacon or sausage. Black Bear Diner, launched in 1995 in Mount Shasta, California, is a rustic, bear-themed restaurant chain boasting about 160 spots across 13 states. They serve their biscuits and gravy all day as a side with many breakfast dishes. But heads up, the biggest gripe is the gravy portion is seriously skimpy. One Yelp reviewer even commented, "Biscuits and gravy were cold and dry. Barely any gravy for large biscuits. I was disappointed."
That's hardly the correct ratio.
Over on TripAdvisor, another dissatisfied diner questioned whether the dish even deserved to be called biscuits and gravy. The biscuits and gravy aren't real biscuits and gravy. The biscuits are more like muffins or cake. The gravy has very, very little sausage and no real seasoning. Given that one Yelp reviewer labeled this dish the worst food ever, you might want to think twice before ordering. If you haven't heard of Broken Yolk Café, that's understandable. With about 40 locations, mainly in California and a handful in Arizona, Texas, Nevada, and Idaho, it's a regional favorite. The spot is known for classic American breakfasts along with Southern and Southwestern specialties, including biscuits and gravy. On their menu under Breakfast Craves, Betty's Southern Biscuit and Gravy features a buttermilk biscuit smothered in gravy and topped with your choice of sausage, bacon, or fried chicken strips. It comes with a side of hash browns, home fries, or fresh fruit. It sounds tempting, but customers haven't been wowed. One TripAdvisor reviewer expressed disappointment, saying, "Biscuit was tasty at first, but had a funky aftertaste. Gravy was lumpy, which is okay if it's tasty. Theirs isn't. Same funky aftertaste as the biscuit." Another customer shared similar feelings, pointing out that the dish just didn't live up to expectations, saying the gravy was only so-so to go with doughy biscuits. To be fair, one Yelp reviewer called the dish all right, but mentioned that the gravy was a bit too sweet for their taste. Hardees takes pride in making its biscuits from scratch. Beginning at 4 a.m., they bake fresh batches every 15 minutes to keep up with demand for over 10 biscuit-based sandwiches, including their biscuit and gravy. Opinions on Hardees biscuits and gravy are pretty split. Some customers swear it's the best thing ever. One TripAdvisor reviewer put it this way, "They have the most incredible sausage biscuit and gravy I've ever had, and the price is so reasonable. We stop here for breakfast every opportunity we get." But others aren't fans at all. One Facebook user compared the dish to powdered water poured over a hockey puck. Another diner was just as disappointed with the gravy, saying, "There was not one tiny bit of sausage in it, just plain white gravy like McDonald's. How could that happen?" Though it has just 10 locations across the U.S., Hash House A Go-Go has managed to build a devoted fan base.
At Hash House A Go-Go, the food is all kinds of crazy.
Famous for its twisted farm food style, the chain's biscuits and sausage gravy features 2 biscuits, 2 eggs, griddled mashed potatoes, and, naturally, sausage gravy. Customer opinions vary widely, from glowing reviews to harsh critiques. Portion size, in particular, divides diners. One Yelp user docked points, saying the servings were simply too large. On the flip side, those with hearty appetites consider the biscuits and gravy a standout. Another Yelp reviewer shared, "Whoever put that amount of gravy is my favorite person of the day because it was perfect. Biscuits are supposed to be swimming in gravy, and they do not disappoint here. Delicious sausage gravy mixed with a huge fresh biscuit can't be beat." On the flip side, some guests found the gravy lacking in flavor and the biscuits too tough. One TripAdvisor reviewer commented, "I was so heartbroken when I realized the biscuits and gravy are basically just mashed potatoes with half of an extremely overcooked rock-hard biscuit shoved on top." Bob Evans started out in the late 1940s as an offshoot of an Ohio sausage company. What began as a small eatery quickly gained popularity. eventually growing into the well-known Bob Evans restaurant chain. Given their sausage heritage, it's no surprise that their sausage gravy is a standout menu item, and it definitely lives up to the hype. Paired with freshly baked biscuits, Bob Evans' version is officially called sausage gravy and biscuits, putting the gravy front and center.
Wait a minute. Strike that. Reverse it.
Timothy Moore, reviewing Bob Evans for Business Insider, mentioned that although the biscuits are sizable, they're nothing extraordinary. However, he praised the gravy for its pleasant spiciness and prominent sausage flavor. On the other hand, a TripAdvisor user saw things differently, saying, "The biscuits were good, but the gravy was a brown-looking goop that didn't taste like gravy and someone spilled a salt shaker in it."
Hey, I said no salt!
Based on their social media, First Watch clearly believes their biscuits and gravy are something special. But do they live up to the hype? Their biscuits and turkey sausage gravy includes a house-baked buttermilk biscuit, seasoned potatoes, and cage-free eggs cooked just the way you like them. Reviews are mixed. Some praise the dish, with one TripAdvisor user describing it as best biscuits and gravy I've had in a long time. However, not everyone is sold on the turkey sausage gravy. One self-proclaimed hardcore biscuits and gravy fan shared on Yelp, "I was not pleased or impressed with these ones. The turkey sausage they used overpowered the taste of the gravy, and so the whole dish tasted very meaty, not necessarily how gravy does. The biscuit was also a bit too soft, so the gravy made it mushy." Though IHOP is famous for its pancakes, their biscuits and gravy hold their own, though calling it IHOB egg just doesn't have the same flair. The buttermilk biscuit and gravy combo features flaky buttermilk biscuits smothered in warm gravy, accompanied by 2 eggs, 2 pork sausage links, 2 bacon strips, and hash browns. One diner on TripAdvisor commented, "The biscuit was large and the gravy was very good, not overly salty. That said, the dish isn't without its critics." One Yelp reviewer remarked, "I assumed that the gravy was sausage gravy with the biscuit, but it turns out it is like a country gravy. The biscuit and gravy to me seemed to have a hint of lemon to it, which I did not particularly care for. Lemon paired with meat drippings? Definitely a flavor combo that takes some getting used to." The Flying Biscuit Café is famous for its fresh, Southern-style comfort food available throughout the day. What makes their biscuit, eggs, and gravy stand out is the use of chicken sausage in the gravy instead of the usual pork. The dish comes with scrambled eggs, grits, and a biscuit. Surprisingly, many diners really enjoy the chicken sausage twist. One satisfied TripAdvisor reviewer shared, "The biscuits are the best. They have a sweetness to them that is hard to imitate. The eggs, biscuits, and gravy is my go-to dish when we visit the restaurant." Another guest echoed the praise, saying the chicken sausage gravy paired perfectly with the biscuits. "I was surprised by how good the chicken sausage gravy was. I am a biscuit gravy lover." Of course, not everyone was impressed. One disappointed Yelp reviewer wrote, "Almost no actual gravy. Mostly a pile of ground-up chicken sausage, so it looked more like dog food." A 2024 post on Big Bad Breakfast's Facebook page reads, "There's nothing like the warm comfort of a delicious biscuit, especially if it's smothered in gravy." Big Bad Breakfast's take on biscuits and gravy features their signature buttermilk and black pepper biscuits. What really sets them apart, though, is the variety of gravy options, a rare find. Alongside the classic sausage gravy, diners can choose tomato gravy or red-eye gravy, which is made using the drippings from pan-fried country ham. The dish has earned plenty of praise. One TripAdvisor reviewer was especially wowed by the biscuits, writing, "The biscuits are hot and fluffy. I don't know how they do it, but the outside is glazed and just a little crunchy, just a snap when you bite, and the inside is light and fluffy."
I can't believe.
Another enthusiastic diner shared their thoughts on Yelp, writing, "I was craving biscuits, and this place did not disappoint. The biscuits and gravy was near perfect, although I wish the gravy had been warmer." The one common gripe about Big Bad Breakfast's biscuits and gravy? Some diners feel the sausage gravy could use a bit more actual sausage. If you're just now learning that McDonald's serves biscuits and gravy, you're not the only one. It's a regional menu item, so plenty of people have never seen it offered. Mostly found in southern states, though a few Reddit users claim they've spotted it in the Midwest. The dish includes made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuits topped with 8 ounces of hearty, southern-style sausage gravy. Former McDonald's corporate chef Mike Harris even gave the dish a shout-out in a TikTok, calling it a standout.
Yes, in some locations, McDonald's does have biscuits and gravy, and it is actually one of the better breakfast items you can get at McDonald's.
The biscuits and gravy have earned praise beyond the McDonald's test kitchens as well. Old Nerd reviews describe the biscuits as flaky, and complimented the gravy for being loaded with sausage and just the right amount of peppery heat. Redditors are also on board. One user wrote, "The gravy was creamy and salty on top of the always tasty biscuits, and it made for a perfect hungover treat." And if your local McDonald's doesn't offer biscuits and gravy, don't worry, you might still be able to try something close. In another TikTok, Harris pointed out that the gravy is nearly identical to chef-made country sausage gravy, which you can find in stores. So if you're curious, it's pretty easy to whip up a similar version at home. If you know Bojangles, it probably comes as no shock that they rank near the top of the list. Few major chains take their biscuit making as seriously. Bojangles crafts a fresh batch from scratch every 20 minutes, like clockwork.
I like it that the biscuits are always fresh.
Bojangles has a wide range of biscuit-focused dishes, and their Southern gravy biscuits and sausage gravy biscuits have earned rave reviews. One TripAdvisor user enthusiastically shared, "I'll go out of my way for biscuits and gravy. Add a side of eggs on top and you have my favorite breakfast." Fast food. Pit Stops praised the generous chunks of sausage in the gravy, saying they paired perfectly with Bojangles' famous biscuits. Meanwhile, a TikTok reviewer remarked that the dish had a homemade taste. Considering Bojangles operates hundreds of locations, that's a real compliment to their quality and care. One TripAdvisor reviewer summed it up nicely, writing, "This is the motherlode of all biscuit and gravy houses. I just can't say enough about how good they are. When words just aren't enough, the best way to understand is to grab an order and taste it firsthand."